Have you ever looked at your bank account after payday and asked yourself, where did it all go? You work hard. You clock the hours. Same job, same income. Yet, every single month, you find yourself sliding right back to zero. You're not reckless. So why does it feel like you're running on a financial treadmill that you can't turn off? Here is the hidden system truth. It's not an accident. The system is functioning exactly as it was designed. It is engineered to keep you in a cycle of constant, polite financial slavery, a modern debt trap disguised as lifestyle progress. But here's the problem. A major financial institution recently pulled the data on their best-performing accounts. They discovered a shocking secret. The wealthiest accounts didn't belong to the highest earners. They belonged to average people who used a specific, counterintuitive rule to break the machine. If you don't know this rule, you are bleeding money every second, and you'd never notice the money was missing, because the default setting of modern society is broke. Now, this changes everything. Once you see the hidden levers of the 10-20-70 money rule, you stop being the product and start being the owner. The story goes like this. A regular guy discovered how the banks were using his own psychology against him, flipped the switch, and built a fortress of freedom. Ready to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? Let's dismantle the system piece by piece right now. Most people think their financial problems are a math issue. They tell themselves, if I just made $10,000 more a year, I'd be fine. But let's get blunt. That is a lie. If you don't know how to handle the first 1,000, you will just scale your disasters to 10,000. It's called lifestyle creep, and it's the primary weapon the system uses to keep you broke. Here is the secret. The system doesn't care how much you earn. It cares about how much you keep after the initial assault on your paycheck. You see, the moment that money hits your account, there is a silent auction happening for your attention. Every subscription service, every buy now, pay later scheme, and every targeted ad is bidding for your capital. But it gets worse. While you're busy trying to keep up with the Joneses, the system is busy depreciating your purchasing power. Your money is literally melting away in your savings account while you feel proud of saving 5%. It's a rigged game. This is where most people fail. They wait until the end of the month to see what's left over to save. That is a loser's strategy. If you wait for leftovers, you are choosing to be last in line. The 10-20-70 rule isn't about saving what remains. It's about paying your future self before you ever give a single cent to the system. It's the difference between being a perpetual consumer and a silent, growing investor. Let's strip the mask off this strategy. The 10-20-70 rule isn't some complex financial voodoo. It's a brutal mechanical system of forced allocation. The problem with traditional budgeting is that it relies on willpower. And willpower is a finite resource that runs out after a long day at the office. This system removes the choice entirely. It treats your income like a factory, assembly line where the parts are already accounted for the moment they arrive. The first 10%, that is your freedom fund. This isn't for emergencies, and it isn't for a new car. This is your screw you money. It is the capital that buys your ability to walk away from a toxic boss, a bad contract, or a dead-end situation. You put this away before you pay your rent, your lights, or your Netflix subscription. If you don't do this first, you are intentionally choosing to stay vulnerable. Then comes the 20%. This is your growth engine. This is where you purchase assets, things that actually have the potential to grow in value. In the system we live in, money sitting still is money dying. By directing 20% toward income-producing assets, you are essentially buying a smaller, digital version of yourself that works while you sleep. Now look at the remaining 70%. That is your life budget. If you can't make your life fit into 70%, you are living a reality you cannot actually afford. Most people try to cram their lives into 100%. And that is exactly why they are perpetually trapped. You might be thinking, 70%? That's impossible. My expenses are already higher than that. And that is exactly where the system wins. It has conditioned you to view your current level of consumption as a fixed necessity rather than a variable choice. But here is the secret to the pivot. The brain hates sudden, painful change, but it loves stealth optimization. When you try to cut your spending by 30% overnight, you feel deprived. You panic. You binge spend to feel better. That's the yo-yo dieting equivalent of finance. But the 10-20-70 rule isn't about restriction. It's about redirection. You don't start by cutting. You start by automating. Set up 3 separate accounts. The moment your paycheck hits, the money is funneled automatically. You never see the 30%. If it never enters your main checking account, your brain stops considering it. Available. You don't spend what you can't see. This is the hidden psychological hack the wealthy have used for generations. It's called out of sight, out of mind, applied to capital. Once the money is moved, you adjust your consumption to fit the remaining 70%. You'll be shocked, truly shocked, at how quickly you find ways to optimize your life. When you have no other choice, you don't get poorer, you just get smarter. You stop buying things you don't need to impress people who don't care. And you start buying the one thing that truly matters: your eventual, absolute independence. Here is the part they don't teach you in school. It's not just about saving, it's about the velocity of your money. Most people treat their money like a prisoner. They lock it in a savings account earning a pathetic 0.5% interest, while inflation eats their purchasing power alive. That isn't saving. That is losing by default. When you master the 10-20-70 rule, you aren't just hoarding cash. That 20% in your growth engine has to move. It needs to work. Whether it's index funds, a side business, or skill acquisition, that money needs a job description. The faster your money cycles through assets, the faster you break the gravity of the middle-class trap. Think about the ultra-wealthy. They don't have money. They have positions. They have equity. They have debt-leveraged assets. And they have systems that produce cash flow. You are currently in the linear income trap, where you trade your finite hours for a finite paycheck. You can never get rich that way because your time has a ceiling. By shifting that 20% into high-velocity assets, you begin the transition from a worker to an owner. But here's the warning. The system is designed to trigger your FOMO. It will dangle shiny objects in front of you. The new car, the upgraded phone, the vacation you can't afford, specifically to stop you from building that momentum. If you let that 20% slip back into the 70%, the cycle resets and you're back to square one. We need to talk about the real danger. The system relies on you feeling like you have no power. It thrives on your anxiety, your need for instant gratification, and your fear of being left behind. But the moment you start allocating that 20% consistently, the psychological power dynamic shifts. You are no longer just a consumer waiting for a paycheck. You are an investor building a private economy. When you have that freedom fund growing, you stop vibrating at the frequency of fear. You don't take abuse from your boss because you have a 6-month runway. You don't buy things to impress people because your status is now defined by your assets, not your aesthetic. You become dangerous to the system because a person with options is a person who cannot be controlled. This is the owner mindset. Most people view money as a tool to acquire objects. An owner views money as a tool to acquire time. Every dollar you keep is a soldier you've recruited to fight for your future. When you have enough soldiers, you don't have to work. They do. The math is cold, but the freedom it buys is warm. You are currently at a crossroads. You can finish this video, go back to your old habits, and remain a cog in the machine. Or you can start the automation today. The 10-20-70 isn't just a budget. It's a declaration of independence from the default path of mediocrity. We are at the end, but your real work is just beginning. You now have the blueprint. You know the 10% freedom fund keeps you safe. The 20% growth engine makes you rich. And the 70% life budget keeps you grounded. But knowing isn't doing. The system is currently waiting for you to close this video. Go back to your app and keep spending the way you always have. It is banking on your inaction. Do not give it that satisfaction. Your next level isn't a year away. It's one decision away. Today, I want you to go into your banking app and set up those 3 automated transfers. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is the exact moment your next paycheck hits. If you found this breakdown useful, you need to understand that this is only the first layer of the financial cage. There are much deeper, darker secrets about how the debt cycle is managed that I can't fit into 7 minutes. If you want to see the blueprint, For the next phase, the phase where you move from building assets to automating your entire life, make sure you're subscribed. This isn't about being rich. It's about being free. The system is designed to keep you in the dark. I'm here to turn on the lights. Take control of your money, or someone else will. I'll see you in the next one, where we break down exactly how to protect that freedom. Stay disciplined.